Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today, what I'm going to be talking to you guys about is two things. First is, how do I complete a delivery if the customer is unavailable? And no contact deliveries. With that said, there are two instances where you're just going to have to leave it at the door and there really isn't someone to hand it to. Oh, the first is there's a whole sequence of events where they just aren't there and they requested that you hand it to them. And then there is no contact deliveries where they decided to ask you to leave it at the door. All drivers like this, but when people complete these deliveries, there's some things that they do that open themselves up to customer fraud. That said, I want to talk to you guys about what they tell you, how you should actually handle yourselves, everything that you will need to know about this. Without further ado, let's get started. How do I complete a delivery if the customer is unavailable? In order to complete a delivery, you must hand the food directly to each customer. In cases where the customer is unavailable to accept a delivery, your delivery can also be completed by the following steps below. Failing to either hand a delivery to the customer or follow the below steps can put your account at risk of deactivation. Yeah, so we're doing this so that way you don't end up deactivated. Protect yourself so that way you can help others and make more money, because that's what a lot of us are here for. Once you arrive at or near a customer's location, swipe arrive to let the customers know. Sometimes with DoorDash, they don't actually give you the arrive swipe. Sometimes they'll say just complete delivery. So make sure you know what you're pressing before you end up swiping anything. If you're having trouble finding the customer, try calling and texting the customer to let them know you've arrived. It helps to try both because customers don't receive texts from DoorDash while others can't answer their phones or won't answer an unknown number. This is especially true with iPhone specifically, because if you try calling an iPhone, sometimes what happens if they don't recognize the number, it gets silenced and perceived as junk, even though it actually is us. So what I would do is actually text, like call once, text, then call. Sometimes that really is enough to get the call through. But that being said, also do the obvious things, ring the bell, knock on the door. If one of those aren't working, count backwards from 10 and try again. If the customer does not respond, click the customer unavailable button in the Dasher app. This will also notify the customer that you're having difficulty reaching them. Your app will show a timer, which gives the customer a few minutes to come retrieve the food. If you find the customer, great, you can give them the food. The timer is 5 minutes long, typically. I know with some apps, it's 8 minutes. Some people, it's like 10. For DoorDash, it's 5 minutes. If you're gonna do that, make sure that you actually give them a chance initially before just hitting the timer, because we don't want to be unfair in doing this. With the customer unavailable button, that sometimes is the better option to just tell them, hey, I've been waiting on you. What's going on? If the customer has not arrived when the timer comes out, you will be prompted to a screen that will allow you to leave the order and show where you left it. The app will guide you. At that point, it becomes a contactless delivery. And the app will guide you. We'll go through some photos of that once we get to that point in the article, but leave the order at the door. Make sure you're putting it in a place that's safe. Leave the food somewhere safe as long as a return is not required. If a return is required, you will see that in the app and you will be notified before you accept the delivery. We recommend you select a safe and protected location to leave the food. Examples: in the front of the unit or front door with a receptionist / doorman, or in a mail room. I actually made a video about return deliveries. I'll link it in the description, but it's really in depth in order to understand return delivery, so we're not going to be going through that in this particular video. Returning it to the front of the unit or front door, that's typically fine. A receptionist or doorman might actually be required based on the actual apartment complex you got. Let's say you're delivering it to a customer that's on the 6th floor of an apartment building and there's a security guard that's running the door. They stop you at the door, you say, hey, I'm delivering a DoorDash order. There is a chance that their building policy is you have to leave it with the security guard. As long as the customer knows that's actually the case, they will probably notate that as a leave at the door delivery. Now, another possibility with this, it's a hand to me and they actually notate it in the description, please leave it with the security guard. in the front of the building or the front desk. In which case, I would just recommend texting them before marking the order as delivered. Hey, just dropped off your food with security as per building policy. I hope you have an awesome day. That's it. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be, hey, your food's been dropped off. I hope you have a great day. I think that we gotta overcomplicate stuff, but that will at least protect you, because now you have the text literally saying everything you did before you dropped it off. In a mailroom, I've never personally seen that. In a lobby, maybe, but not in a mailroom. Document where you left the food in the app with a picture and description. So yeah, if they tell you to leave it at the door, they're gonna have you take a picture and leave a description. So if you're having trouble finding this feature in the app, please reach out to our support team. What happens if a customer reports that they didn't receive the order? When a customer reports that you have not delivered an order, we will review the delivery details to ensure that the above actions were taken. In cases where you have not completed these steps, your account will be eligible for deactivation. The importance of actually doing the above steps that which we talked about isn't just, oh, this is just systematic nonsense. You're trying to put us to do more work. No, this is actually something important that can protect your account from deactivation. I know it can seem like this is a lot of extra steps for a simple thing, but protecting your account where, let's be honest, you can get deactivated just because they had a bad day. This helps a lot. So make sure you're just completing the steps as you should. We will communicate you in cases of a customer report, you can expect to receive a text or email to let you know that a customer reported incomplete delivery. You can also receive an in-app notification saying that you got a contract violation, a warning notice once your account has been flagged for deactivation. You may appeal any deactivation decisions following the process here. If you get deactivated, the chance of you getting reactivated are actually really slim. So make sure you understand and do as much as you can to protect your account and understand the steps here that we were talking about. No contact delivery requests. Doordash takes the health and safety of all members of our community very seriously. Customers and Dashers have the ability to request no contact deliveries in order to ensure the safety of the community. Please note, in order to help ensure smooth and safe pickups, merchants are also updating pickup protocol. They will provide any new pickup instructions in the app. Not all merchants actually updated the app, but you can tell when they actually set up a separate station or they ask you to wait outside or whatever. What is a no contact delivery? A no contact delivery is a delivery where you do not directly hand the food to the customer. Instead, you place the food in a safe, agreed upon location and communicate that to the customer via your device. See the how-to section below. So an agreed upon location, that's pretty much usually in most cases leave it at the door. Leave it on the chair or bench. Front desk if you're going to an apartment complex or hotel. Leave it with the coworker. Whatever. How do I know if a customer requests a no contact delivery? You will either see this request as a text message in your delivery instructions. You may see customers ask for no contact or contactless or leave at the my door deliveries. In the event that it says hand to customer, leave at the door, you might need to actually communicate with the customer what that actually is, because sometimes it's a glitch and sometimes it's really just they didn't check their instructions after a while. How do I complete a no contact delivery? Agree on a safe, secure, clean location to place the food wherever the customer tells you. If the app asks you to submit a photo, then you can do so directly in the app. Otherwise, text the photo to your customer. Yeah, pretty much you almost always have to take a picture and text it. And if it's not set to leave at door by customer, you might need to send it through a message. Wait at a comfortable distance for the customer to get their food. I will say some customers actually have a problem with that. They actually do prefer that you don't watch them get their food. For your account's sake, you are better off watching the customer grab their own. I know that you can already get another order at that point, but give it a minute and then If they don't come out by then, just drive away. Mark the order as delivered and continue delivering as usual. In-app steps to complete a no-contact delivery. If it is a no-contact delivery, then upon arriving to the customer's address, the bottom of the screen will say, complete delivery steps. If you are unable to find the customer's address, you can call or text them. Follow steps, take photo, required. You have to take a photo in order to move on. Otherwise, it says handed order directly to the customer. If you do hand it directly to the customer and they didn't get the order, they can nail you for that. So don't get nailed. So take a photo required, leave a description is optional. I just say leave a description. If not, just say, hey, just dropped off your food. I hope you have an awesome day. Not only is that a considerate thing to do, it actually helps a lot with your customer ratings. You'd be surprised what a difference one sentence can make. Now, I do want to be clear that's not all the time, but it is a good amount of time. The photo is intended to help the customer find the food. See the requirements below on how to take a satisfactory photo. You may either use the camera feature in the app or upload a photo from your photo library. The photo library option is especially helpful if you're in an area with poor cell signal, in which you can go to a better area and upload from your library later. Yeah, sometimes I ended up having to do that because the cell phone service in some areas is just trash. Like, you can't even get anything done, and the fact that Doordash's software is garbage enough already, you're better off just going to another area. After submitting a photo and description, click complete delivery if the customer takes the food before you have a chance to take the photo. Then click handed order directly to customer. Sometimes the customer ends up meeting you at the door, even though they said leave it at the door. Try to take the photo. If they're not cool with it, don't worry about it. When you have completed the last step, the photo you took submitted will automatically be texted and emailed to the customer to help them find their order. You will not see the text on your phone unless the customer replies to it. They can also do so for up to 30 minutes after the delivery. So yeah, after 30 minutes, they can't contact you anymore and you can't contact them. Provides clear photos upon delivery is critical. Here is a checklist of what to include in your post-delivery photos to help your customers easily locate their food. House or apartment door number, food package, clear food drop-off location. This is an example of a good photo. This is an example of a bad photo. Like, who does this? I don't think anybody does the one on the right at all. The one thing I will say about this is do not, and I really mean this, do not be the guy to put this in front of the door and they can't open it. So make sure if the door opens, you're not gonna cause a spillage of the food, because that's not okay. Okay, so all of this is basically just reiterating everything I was saying already. So we're not going to continue to go through that. How do I request to provide a no contact delivery? The only thing you can do is actually text or call via the Dasher app. Unfortunately, they don't actually have a setting for you to physically set it up for yourself. Will merchants also be doing no contact pickups? Some merchants actually have specific protocols, like leave it on the shelf, or I know in New York they wouldn't actually let people inside for a while and they basically barricaded everything. It was so funny. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. Well, there you go. Customer fraud is a thing. If you follow the steps, you won't have an issue. A lot of what Doordash does to run this system is algorithmic by nature, and the deactivation people are very, well, let's just say they don't do their jobs. They don't actually appeal it. They pretty much will find any reason in the world to not reactivate you, because that's just the kind of integrity and character Doordash has. So with that said, you want to do everything in your power to protect your account. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.